Once again, former President Donald Trump was denied accountability. Former president was given a deadline to put up a bond amounting to 120% of the judgment in the New York City fraud case, plus interest, which would have been nearly $545 million. However, a New York appeals court said, you know what, too much. We're going to give you a little bit of a break. Now, this is important because today, Monday, was the deadline where if he didn't pay that bond amount, New York Attorney General Letitia James would have been able to start seizing Trump's property in order to satisfy the court order. But again, somebody came in, saved him from having to deal with the consequences of his own actions. We've seen this movie before. Now, the ruling from the appeals court reduces the bond to $175 million and grants him an additional 10 days to post the bond, according to Bloomberg Law. In fact, Susana Molina Rojas, a clerk of the appellate court, in an order filed Monday said, "It is ordered that the motion is granted to the extent of staying enforcement of those portions of the judgment. Number one, ordering disgorgement to the Attorney General for $464,576,230.62. Condition on defendant's appellate's posting within 10 days of the date of this order, an undertaking of $175 million. The decision still bans Trump and his sons from serving as directors of officers of New York businesses for several years, as well as former Trump Organization CFO Allen Weisselberg and the business's former controller Jeffrey McConney. Nonetheless, mostly a win for Trump. I mean, here we go again. Alleged rich guy gets preferential treatment when you know that if he were legit poor and a minority or both, he would not be able to get this special break. Privilege has its perks, and this is another one of those. Now, here's the thing. I didn't know that this was a possibility. All right? I was not aware. Nobody talked about this. None of the legal experts thought the court would grant such an appeal, especially at the very last minute on the day of the deadline. Look, it seems a little, I don't know, shady to me, this entire situation, especially since he had claimed very openly that he has the money, but he would rather spend it somewhere else. In fact, on Friday, Trump took to Truth Central and said, "Through hard work, talent, and luck, I currently have almost $500 million in cash, a substantial amount of which I intended to use for my campaign, for president. The often overturned political hack judge on the rigged and corrupt AG case, where I've done nothing wrong, knew this, wanted to take it away from me, and that's why he came up with a shocking number, which coupled with this crazy interest demand is approximately $454 million. Not only, apparently, did he have the cash, according to his own words, but then again, can you really trust it? But he is actually about to come into some more money. See, on Friday, Truth Social also successfully merged with the blank check company Digital World Acquisition Corporation. That is a $3 billion deal. Well, at least for him. He will be able to get $3 billion. That allows this Truth Social to be traded publicly. Now, he will have to wait a while to access the money, but still bailed out again. This time by the board of the blank check company. So, yikes. Now, he did respond to this ruling. Let me show you that. I did nothing wrong, and New York should never be put in a position like this again. Businesses are fleeing, violent crime is flourishing, and it is very important that this be resolved in its totality as soon as possible. Pretty funny. He talks about, crime when he's alleged to have done the criming. In fact, was convicted of it, and this is part of his appeal. But according to NYPD crime statistics, violent crime in New York City is actually falling. So, through March 17th. By the way, this is after it spiked during Trump's presidency. How come he never gets any credit for that? Or any blame for that? Weird. I mean, yes, it spiked during COVID, and it's still falling. It's not quite pre-pandemic level yet, but it has been falling quite a bit. Crime, not just in New York City, violent crime, but all over the country. And yet, weird. Crime seems to spike when a criminal takes over and becomes president. Weird how that happens. Oh, very strange. But anyway, look, it's what Trump did. It is crime. It's not violent crime, but he lied about his properties in order to get favorable deals on loans and then to pay less on taxes. So inflated it for, hey, look at how many assets I have. Give me good loans. And then, oh, look how poor I am. How many losses I had. You better lower my tax rate. So when you do that, you're essentially stealing from every hardworking American in New York, which they pay a lot in taxes. And when rich people don't pay their taxes, guess where the burden goes? Everyone else. Yeah. But overall, at the end of the day, win for Trump. Now he'll be able to put up a bond, and then, of course, Letitia James will not be able to seize his properties. Now, that said, doesn't mean that he'll get out of having to pay the judgment. Remember, this is just a bond money so that he can appeal, and there's no guarantee that he will win that appeal, because it doesn't change the fact that Trump did commit fraud, and while an appeal will delay having to pay that judgment, maybe even significantly delay it, I don't think he'll be able to completely get out of it. Remember, this is a state ruling, and so if his appeal fails, which is very likely, in my opinion at least, he's not going to be able to pardon himself if he becomes president. And so there's that. He can only pardon himself from federal charges, which is an entirely different problem. But look, the only way that I think that he can avoid this is to have the ruling completely thrown out. And as lucky as Trump is, because he gets very lucky at being able to skirt out of being held accountable for things that he has done, I don't think he has quite that much luck. But I guess we'll have to see.